welcome to the online lecture. This week we will talk about the urinary system. Urinary system is basically, we are learning how kidney works and what it does. Okay, the function of the kidney. As you can see here, the first function is to get rid of metabolic waste. What are the metabolic waste we have in our body? The first one is urea. Urea is basically when we have too much protein. When we have too much protein, then our body cannot utilize all the protein. Then liver will break down protein into amino acid, and breaking down amino acid, and then amino acid will be converted into urea. And then we also have ammonium. Ammonium is something that can be useful. For example, our body uses ammonium to make a glutamine, and then our body can also convert glutamine back to ammonium. But excess ammonium is also not good for our body. That's why we also convert ammonium to urea as a less toxic product to be get rid of. And we also have creatinine. Creatinine is the byproduct or the breakdown of creatine phosphate. Creatine phosphate is like an immediate source of energy for muscle contraction. It can provide 1 ATP. Remember we talked about at the beginning of the semester the cellular respiration. It can produce approximately 36 or to 38 of the ATP, but this one, creatine phosphate, can produce 1 ATP for muscle. It's like the immediate energy source for the muscle contraction. And the last but not least, uric acid. Uric acid is basically breaking down of the nucleotide. As you remember, at the beginning of semester we talked about we eat four major types of food, namely carbohydrate, protein, lipid, and nucleic acid. So the breaking down of nucleic acid will form uric acid. So these are the 4 types of metabolic waste that we get rid of from our urinary system. Second function of the urinary system is for osmoregulation. What does it mean? It's basically the balance of water and salt. And when we control the volume of water inside our body, we also control the volume of blood inside our body. So the major mechanism in the urinary system is that our kidney control the absorption or excretion of the salt as a way to indirectly control the absorption or secretion of water. So because the movement of water is mainly by osmosis. So in order to control the volume of water in our body, then the kidney control the absorption or excretion of salt in the body. In this case, then kidney can control the flow of water, either going into the blood or going out in the urine. So if we excrete more salt into the urine, then more water will go to the urine. And if we absorb more salt into our blood, then more water will follow to go into blood. So that is the major mechanism of the urinary physiology, the renal physiology. So the kidney regulate. So other than sodium chloride is the major one that the kidney control. It also controls potassium, bicarbonate, and calcium ions. The third function of kidney is to regulate the acid base. So it is important that our kidney help the blood to maintain the pH around 7.5. So it can do this by excreting excessive hydrogen ion. As we remember at the beginning of the semester, hydrogen ion contribute to the acidity of our body fluid, and also reabsorption of the bicarbonate ion. Bicarbonate ion is a very important molecule that will help to buffer the pH of the blood. Buffer meaning that it is a resistance to the change of the pH of the blood. At the end of today's lecture, we will talk about how bicarbonate ion counter acidity or basicity of the changes of the blood. And urinary system also secrete hormone. When we have too much hormone, it will go into the urine. Renin is an enzyme, not a hormone. This is very important to remember. Renin is an enzyme, not a hormone. It is secreted by your kidney. We will talk about that, what cell type secrete the renin. It will lead to the secretion of aldosterone. Aldosterone is for reabsorption of sodium. As I already mentioned, reabsorption of sodium back to our blood will cause a reabsorption of water back to our blood, increasing our blood volume and increasing our blood pressure. So we will talk about RAA pathway, which is renin, angiotensin, and aldosterone pathway. It is a mechanism to help our body to maintain our blood pressure. In the case of maybe dehydration or hemorrhage, all this will cause the drop of the blood volume and also the drop of the blood pressure. But kidney help us or use this RAA pathway, renin, angiotensin, and aldosterone pathway to help us to help the cardiovascular system to maintain the blood pressure or to restore the blood pressure in the event of dehydration or hemorrhage. Erythropoietin, it is a hormone secreted by kidney to stimulate the red bone marrow to make more blood cell. And then vitamin D activation, it helps to for calcium absorption in your GI tract. So we'll go to the structure. We'll start to study the anatomy of the structure of the kidneys. Now, kidney is a bean-shaped, reddish-brown organ located in the lumbar region. It is behind peritoneum. As I mentioned before, it is at the back here. In the lumbar region, it is not really covered by your ribs. The last two ribs, some textbooks said that it is half covered partially by the last two ribs, the floating ribs. But some textbooks said that it is exposed to the lumbar region. It is not protected by the ribs. In any case, the only thing that protects your kidneys behind your back is the body fat. There's a layer of body fat surrounding the kidney, and that's the only thing that protects your kidney. So if you get into a fight, it will be very easy to damage your kidney because it only has fat, body fat, as a cushion to absorb the shock.